spent hours pruning my self-fertilizing shrubs and flutterby bushes. Didn't realize how long I'd been at it until the sun began to set. Well, if there's one thing I love to see more than my plants thriving, it's one of my students doing the same. Now, ready to learn flipendo? Chin up, keep a light grip, and it's all in the wrist. Let's see you give it a go. You will want to focus with this spell. Nothing as mortifying as knocking back a colleague when all you wanted to do was move a few pots. Wonderfully done! If you'd like to practice a bit more, you're welcome to do so here in the greenhouse. Just mind the... Please.
Professor, I was wondering where you're from. What's your background?
Oh, how nice of you to ask. Well, let's see. I grew up in London, right on the Thames.
That sounds lovely. All the sights and bustle of a city.
To some, yes. I used to dream of living in the country, but it wasn't until I came to Hogwarts that I felt truly at home. Mind you, it did take some time, and whilst it is my fervent hope that each student eventually feels as at home here as I do, it is not always the case.
I suppose that makes sense.
Well, we each bloom differently, don't we? Some of us, like Devil's Snare, thrive in the shadows, whilst others crave the attention of a bouncing bulb. And we each grow and thrive according to our own plan. Oh, I was terribly nervous when I arrived at the castle. You see, as a child, I knew nothing of witches or wizards. You can imagine how astonished I was to receive my letter from Hogwarts. I spent a good deal of time alone in either the greenhouse or the library my first days here.
I'm sorry the other students weren't more friendly.
Oh, but I've given you the wrong impression. On the contrary, I was shown great kindness. In fact, a 7th year took me under her wing during those first days. She remains one of my dearest friends.
How fortunate.
I was indeed. I dare say you'll find that the friends you make here at Hogwarts will last a lifetime. Now, I'd best get to my recent delivery from the Magic Neep. Mr. Teasdale promised me quite an assortment of seeds this week. Lovely to see you.
Flipendo! Descendo! Repulso! Accio! Expelliarmus! Defendo! Incendio! Confringo! Arresto Momentum! Accio! Expelliarmus! Confringo! Incendio! Defendo! Accio! Depulso! Flipendo!
can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
Glad you came.
Hello, Serona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stayed with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
If it thinks it's got half a chance.
I dream of making a
Revelio.
better world for me. This is almost too easy.
Expelliarmus!
That's fine.
Flipendo. Incendio. Revelio. Incendio. Confringo. Revelio. Flipendo.
Upper Hogsfield.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon Rookwood's played a hand in his disappearance.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect Horklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some Horklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
I can certainly try and find some for you.
That would be wonderful. I'm worried about the travelling vendors and would love to get them more Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting Horklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather Horklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Brottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawk lumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it. Bardolph Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by Doc was...
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Shame Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. Wonder his disappearance.
Revelio.
What do we have here? A demiguise. Mine now, demiguise.
Revelio.
Aloha Mora.
Revelio. Revelio.
Are expensive, you know.
Roundrock's loyalists are a menace. What can be done?
Revelio.
That's what the authorities are for.
Revelio.
You don't ever want to find.
Revelio.
I don't know centaurs, but there hasn't been a dragon in history worth losing a hair over.
Revelio.
Centaurs have never had much trouble with this kind, have they?
Revelio. It's like a place from
Revelio.
Bardo Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by dark wizards he
Something
was.
different about that statue.
Come now, don't be stingy.
Defendo. Incendio. Expel. Confringo. Incendio. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Incendio. Revelio. Revelio. Incendio. Confringo. Accio. Flipendo. Depulso. Descendo. Revelio. Flipendo. Descendo. Depulso.
Who's there? Not quite.
Flipendo. Descendo. Depulso.
Your blood's on Ranrock's hands.
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
I saw hoofprints in the forest.
I shall get that
You'll feel that tomorrow.
Confringo. Confringo! Incendio! Flipendo!
Learned that in first year, did ya?
Confringo! Expelliarmus! Incendio!
I'll watch the light go out of your eyes. Potato!
Confringo! Expelliarmus! Defendo! Incendio!
Nobody will believe I defeated an Ashwinder by myself.
Revelio!
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned. Better have a look around. See about the Horcrux and the box of letters.
Incendio!
That's all the Horcrux for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased.
Revelio! Confringo! Revelio! Confringo! Incendio! Protego! Confringo! Revelio! Revelio! Revelio!
Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether.
Defender! Incendio! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Incendio! Defender! Incendio! Confringo! Incendio! Confringo! Defender! Expelliarmus! Incendio! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Confringo! Defender! Incendio! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Defender! Incendio! Confringo! Defender! Expelliarmus! Incendio! Revelio! 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 Confringo!
This must be Sirona's box of letters. I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad to have this back.
Revelio.
I should find Mrs. Sprottle. She'll be glad to get these hawk lumps.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon Rookwood's played a hand in his disappearance.
Excuse me, did you say something about Bardolph Beaumont?
Oh, hello again. How nice to see you. And yes, I did. I was just worrying about Claire Beaumont's brother Bardolph, only he's gone missing. Rumour is he was seen in the forest practicing dark magic. Saw him myself near some ruins with Rookwood's lot I did. I fear he got himself into trouble with the Ashwinders, especially if he made them a promise he couldn't keep. I'd help search for him myself, but no one will risk encountering Ranrock's loyalists. They seem to be everywhere.
Do you think Bardolph may have simply run off?
No. Bardolph's run that shop with Claire his entire life. He'd not give it up for anything. He swore he'd be back in a fortnight. My instincts are that he's been held captive, or worse.
Why would Bardolph want to get involved with the Ashwinders?
Oh, he had a terrible run-in with Ranrock's loyalists. Changed him. He vowed never to feel powerless again. I think he sought the Ashwinders out to learn their secrets. Victor Rookwood, at least, seems somehow immune to Ranrock's loyalists.
I can certainly look out for him.
Any help would be appreciated. You might speak to Claire first. Perhaps she has some insights that I don't. I can tell you that Bardolph was last seen in the forest wearing a particular woolen jumper, one that Claire knitted herself. Claire will be at her shop if you'd like to speak with her.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. I have good news. I was able to harvest some hawk lumps for you, and I found Sirona's box of letters.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion. And Sirona will be delighted to have those letters. How kind of you. Now you be careful heading back to Hogsmeade.
I should take this box of letters to Sirona. She'll be glad to have it back.
Revelio.
That must be Bardolph.
Confringo. Incendio. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Defender. Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
Bardolph's woolen jumper. I'm not sure Madame Beaumont would want to know what really happened to him.
Revelio.
This mentions Inferi, and something about it being Bardolph's turn next. An entry from Bardolph's journal. He overheard whispers, a plan, something to do with him.
Revelio.
Upper Hogsfield is being terrorised by Ranrock's loyalists. It's not right.
Madame Beaumont, I believe I have some news of your brother.
Bardolph? What do you know of my brother?
I regret to say that Bardolph had been turned into an Inferius, and I had to kill him.
What? But how could you possibly think that an Inferius was my brother Bardolph? That's absurd.
He was wearing a woolen jumper, hand-knitted.
No. No. This can't be.
I'm truly sorry. I wish it had been better news. I wish you well, Madame Beaumont.
What more could I have done? Oh, Bardolph! Bardolph, my dear, dear brother.
I couldn't help but overhear. Did you mention Ranrock's loyalists?
I did. My apologies. I've not been myself since we last met. Ranrock and his followers have set up camp here. No regard for our beloved hamlet or our livelihoods. Ruthless. It's Ranrock I have to thank for losing Bardolph. If only I could somehow rid our hamlet of these monsters. I'm simply at my wit's end.
Why don't you simply leave the area for now?
Upper Hogsfield is my home. Baldolph and I grew up here. I can't believe he's never coming home. Part of me wants to avenge the loss of my brother, whilst another part of me simply wants to hide.
You said Ranrock's loyalists have set up camp here. Where, precisely?
To the south, across the river. Last I heard, there were several loyalists in each camp. I won't go near them.
I'm unfortunately quite familiar with Ranrock's loyalists. Perhaps I can do something.
Much as I would love to be rid of them, I wouldn't want you to risk injury, or worse. Please be cautious. Oh, we should not have to live in fear.
Has the situation with Ranrock's loyalists improved?
I'm afraid not. I fear my brother is only one of many who will have suffered at their hands by the time they move on. If they ever do.
Nut, back already! I picked up this violin in Diagon Alley.
It seems as though things are getting worse. Best be on my guard.
Revelio.
Only I could invent a new potion, something indispensable. I'd be set for life. Not to worry, I like baking.
Back already! I picked up this violin in Diagon Alley.
Ah, hello. And how would one like to be styled today?
Hello.
Oh, come in, come in. Welcome to Madame Snelling's Tress Emporium. I'm sure I've no need to introduce myself. They used to call me Snelly. Oh, Snelly, why aren't you studying to be an aura? But I showed them. They're stuck in the dust at the ministry and I'm here thriving. Absolutely thriving. But look at you. Look at you. I can certainly see why you paid me a visit. Looking for a change, are we?
Why not, I say? What sort of change?
Some are going for that muggle with consumption, sort of death becomes me allure. But you won't find poisons here. No need for chloride of lime or ammonia when you have magic. Why don't you spend a moment choosing how you'd like to look? You can change your hair too if you'd like.
What services do you offer?
You take care now, and I shall hope to see you soon.
Revelio.